To truly sense and appreciate life, it must be understood through the experience of love. Self-love is the collective awareness within our own selves functioning properly. Are we working together with the unit of our own bodies? Are we helping to maintain the harmony within ourselves? Are we conscious and aware of our negative thoughts and the feelings which they evoke in us? These kinds of emotional conflicts start up certain processes in our bodies which deliberately deteriorates our own body's units, causing them to fall apart and begin the reconfiguration process we mentioned previously. When we are immersed in emotional conflict for a significant period of time, by it we create a self-induced sickness which brings about our death. Of course, as I stated previously, these concepts of sickness and death can only be understood from a human perspective. From evolution or life's point of view, this is only a process of rearrangement. Are we living in a way which aids the unit of our body? Do we do everything within our capability to offer the optimum conditions within which allows our body's cells to function in unity? Do we make certain of familiarizing ourselves with the best possible knowledge of what should be done to maintain the betterment of our bodies? Do we spend enough time, or spend any time at all, to grasp what a miracle life actually is? What a wonderful and priceless opportunity it is to be able to live at all. Do I appreciate this? Have I given any thought to the question whether there exists anything more important than life itself? Have I discovered within myself the child who craves attention, affection, approval and praise, geniality, and most importantly, love? And can I love him or her? Can I love my inner being, the unit of my body, the same way as I would my child? All spiritual leaders proclaim that before any change or betterment is possible, the first and foremost step is to love ourselves. Do we love ourselves? Unfortunately, most of the time, the answer is no. If we really did so, to the fullest possible extent, we would not commit so many deeds which result in harming ourselves. I do not believe we are actually aware what loving ourselves really means, or how should we go about doing so. Next, I will pose a few questions which I would like you to think about. In general, if we love someone, are our efforts focused on hurting and using them? Or do we try to nurture and take care of them to the best of our abilities, to offer them happiness and to ease their life? If we love someone, do we continuously search for their faults and imperfections, or do we mostly try to pay attention to their positive qualities? If we love someone, are we always unhappy with them because they are not good enough? Or do we do our best to praise and appreciate them and their efforts just the way they are? I believe that the consensus would lay with the latter half of these questions. That when we love someone, our efforts lie in focusing on their positive qualities. When we love someone, we approach them with altruistic and empathic tendencies, with the desire to better their life and offer them happiness. These are the essential desires which are evoked by when loving someone. So, if this is the case, why are we not able to be the same with ourselves? One reaction to this question could be denial or disagreement, proclaiming, I don't do that to myself. Use or hurt myself, there would be no point to that. Then what could we call abusing our health in seemingly endless various ways, such as malnutrition, substance abuse, and unbearable amounts of stress? What is even more important to familiarize ourselves with is our mind, its belief systems, and ways of thinking. This is crucial in attaining control over how it's shaped. This is the most important aspect, as it significantly influences the way we relate and react to our surroundings. This determines everything in our lives, including our body's biological processes. If we do not take notice of these issues, regarding them as insignificant or unimportant, then we can concede to not loving ourselves. Until we do not care about ourselves, or our body's entity, we are being irresponsible and acting in a life-opposing manner. That is not love. If we act this way towards ourselves, how could we expect to act any better towards others? This behavior is carried out unconsciously. It is irrelevant what the original reason is, what our attempts are to deceive ourselves in order to justify or explain. The end result is always the same. The true reason is our irresponsible and indifferent approach because we are not conscious enough, and the result is always an attempt against our own life. To continue on this train of thoughts, let's discuss two infamous aspects of life right now we know all too well: stress and depression. Pressures extended onto individuals resulting in these two states can significantly harm our health, relationships, careers, and everything in between, which our lives consist of. When looking for a solution to these issues, the important thing is not to give up when faced with failure, but to be persistent and unyielding until reaching it. When I am referring to a solution, I do not mean make a trip to your nearest medical professional who will happily fill out a prescription for antidepressants. That is not a solution. Depression and stress are not illnesses of the body, but of the mind. They are spiritual rather than physical. They are an indication of the imbalance of our feelings and our emotional conflicts. Problems of this nature will never be fixed with easily prescribed medication. The outlook that pharmaceuticals and minimal effort will eradicate a problem of this nature is fed and only survives through ignorance and naivety. All a medical professional is able to assist you with is to offer you a few pieces of straightforward advice regarding your lifestyle. They do not possess the means or the time to familiarize themselves with each intimate detail of the patient's life and map out their lifestyle in order to offer them assistance. However, this would be the only possible way to really help them, and they definitely do not possess the means to make the necessary changes. No one can believe, think, feel, or make choices for another person. For that, they would have to live your life. If we want to be balanced, healthy, genuinely happy, there is no other options but to learn how to really and properly lead our lives. We can always ask for help, opinions, or support, but we have to really want it and really do it. Distractions and substitutions which we resort to in a helpless frenzy to escape our problems causes us to slowly learn that their solution does not easily come to us. Such temporary solutions only work to take our mind off of the actual problem for a short period of time and are far from enough. I could list off mental problems and illnesses, their roots, and the spiritual and emotional conflicts arising from them enough to fill this book from cover to cover. But this task would be unnecessary, as the specifics are not the point. These illnesses are manifestations of a much larger and deeper issue. The roots of them almost always spring from the same place: that we are not aware how to genuinely love ourselves. We are not appreciative and aware of the worth of our own life and that of life in general. Because of this, our priorities are far from being in proper order. They have been inverted and corrupted, and from this we have lost sight of what is really important: how to love ourselves. Until we do not attempt to take even the basic initiatives for the betterment of our own lives, this is not love, but complete disregard of our responsibility.